Before this video ends, you're going to realize something uncomfortable. Someone around you might already be controlling your thoughts, and you didn't even notice it. These aren't obvious tricks. They're silent psychological patterns used by people who know exactly how the human mind works. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. So watch carefully, because missing even one of these could mean staying controlled without ever knowing why. Number 1, 7 psychological tricks people use to control you without you realizing. You are already being controlled. You just haven't noticed it yet, and that's exactly how it's designed to work. The first trick is called framing, where someone subtly changes how information is presented so your decision feels like your own, even when it isn't. They won't tell you what to think, they'll just control what you see first, because the first impression silently shapes every choice you make after. The second trick is emotional anchoring, where they connect a feeling to an idea, so every time you think about it, your emotions guide you automatically. That's why certain people make you feel guilty or excited on command, without ever forcing you directly. The third trick is strategic silence, where saying less actually gives them more control, because your mind starts filling the gaps with assumptions. And those assumptions are often exactly what they want you to believe, even if they never said it out loud. The fourth trick is repetition, where hearing something again and again makes it feel true, even if you questioned it at first. Your brain starts accepting familiarity as truth, and that's where control becomes invisible. The fifth trick is validation control, where they give you approval at the right moments, making you depend on their reactions more than your own judgment. You start seeking their approval without realizing you're being trained to follow their expectations. The sixth trick is subtle pressure, not through force, but through timing, tone, and urgency that makes you act before thinking clearly. It feels like your decision, but it was rushed in a way that benefits them the most. The seventh trick is identity shaping, where they slowly influence how you see yourself. Because once your identity shifts, your behavior follows automatically. You don't resist because it feels like you're just being yourself. And that's the most powerful part of all. Control that feels like freedom is the hardest to detect. Most people never realize this is happening because nothing looks aggressive or obvious on the surface. It's quiet, subtle, and almost invisible, which makes it incredibly effective in everyday life. But once you start noticing these patterns, everything begins to look different in conversations, decisions, and relationships. You'll start seeing where influence ends and manipulation begins. And that awareness alone changes how you respond. Because control only works best when it stays hidden, and awareness is what quietly breaks it. The more you understand these patterns, the harder it becomes for anyone to guide your thinking without your permission. And that's when control shifts back to you, without needing to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to fight it, you just need to recognize it. Because once you see it clearly, it loses its power completely. And the truth is, the moment you become aware of these silent tricks, you're already one step ahead of most people around you. Number 2, never say these 6 words. They make you look weak instantly. One wrong sentence, and suddenly people stop taking you seriously, even if they never say it out loud. Most people don't lose respect because of what they do, but because of the words they casually repeat every day. The first word is sorry, used too often, because constant apologizing trains others to see you as unsure even when you've done nothing wrong. Instead of saying sorry for existing, replace it with calm confidence, because people respect those who don't shrink themselves unnecessarily. The second phrase is, I think maybe, because adding doubt to your own words makes your ideas sound weak before anyone else even judges them. When you remove hesitation and speak clearly, your voice automatically carries authority, even if your idea is simple. The third mistake is saying it's okay when it's actually not, because tolerating everything silently teaches people that your boundaries don't exist. Strong people don't overreact, but they also don't ignore disrespect. And that balance is what builds silent power. The fourth phrase is, I'll try, which sounds harmless but secretly signals that you've already accepted the possibility of failure. Replace it with commitment, because people trust those who sound certain about their actions, not those who sound unsure. The fifth phrase is, no problem at all in situations where your effort actually mattered, because downplaying yourself reduces your perceived value. When you acknowledge your effort calmly, others begin to recognize it too without you needing to demand attention. The sixth and most dangerous phrase is, I'm just lucky, Because denying your own effort slowly erases your credibility in front of others. People respect consistency and effort, not luck. So never discredit the work that built your results. Confidence is not about being loud, it's about removing the small words that quietly destroy your presence. Every unnecessary apology, every doubtful phrase, and every self-reducing statement chips away at how others see you. And the truth is, people decide your value based on how you present yourself, not how hard you actually work. If your words sound unsure, people assume you are unsure, even if you're capable of much more. But when your words are clean, direct, and intentional, your presence becomes naturally powerful without forcing anything. This is how silent confidence works, not by adding something new, but by removing what weakens you. Most people never notice this pattern, which is why they keep losing respect without understanding why it's happening. But once you become aware of your language, you start controlling how people perceive you in every interaction. And that control doesn't come from manipulation, it comes from clarity, self-respect, and emotional stability. The moment you fix your words, your energy changes, and people respond to you differently almost instantly. Because respect is not asked for, it is reflected back based on the signals you send every single day. Number 3, 8 mind games smart people use to win every conversation. You don't need to be loud to dominate a conversation. The smartest people win quietly by controlling how others think and react. The first mind game is strategic silence, because when you pause at the right moment, people feel pressure to fill the gap and often reveal more than they planned. The second mind game is controlled eye contact, not staring aggressively, but holding just enough gaze to signal confidence and make your words carry more weight. The third mind game is slow speaking, because when you speak slightly slower than normal, people automatically assume you are more confident and worth listening to. The fourth mind game is selective agreement, where you agree with part of what someone says, so they lower their guard before you gently redirect the conversation. The fifth mind game is asking powerful questions, because the person asking the questions is always the one leading the conversation without appearing dominant. The sixth mind game is emotional mirroring, where you subtly match the other person's tone and energy so they feel understood and naturally trust you more. The seventh mind game is controlled reactions, because when you don't overreact, people start valuing your responses more and pay closer attention to what you say. The eighth mind game is ending conversations first, because walking away at the right moment leaves people wanting more and gives you the upper hand. Most people try to win conversations by talking more, but the real power comes from knowing when not to speak at all. When you master silence, you force others to expose their thoughts while you stay in control of the situation. When you control your tone, people don't just hear your words, they feel your confidence without you ever saying it directly. When you ask the right question, you shift the entire direction of the conversation without anyone realizing it. People don't respect noise, they respect control, and control always looks calm, steady, and intentional. If you rush your words, you lose authority. But if you slow down, every sentence starts to feel more powerful and deliberate. Smart people never try to prove they are smart. They let their behavior make others come to that conclusion naturally. The less you try to impress, the more people become impressed by you without understanding why. Confidence in conversation is not about overpowering others, it is about guiding the flow without resistance. Every pause you take, every word you choose, and every reaction you control is shaping how others perceive you. When you stay composed under pressure, people automatically assume you are the one in charge of the situation. The real secret is that most people are reacting emotionally, while you stay calm and think strategically. Once you stop chasing attention and start controlling your presence, conversations begin to work in your favor effortlessly. People may not remember every word you say, but they will always remember how you made them feel in that moment. And when you master these silent mind games, you don't just join conversations, you quietly take control of them. Because true dominance is never loud, it is calm, calculated, and almost invisible to everyone except the person using it. Number 4. 9 signs someone is secretly controlling your mind. A stranger doesn't need power over you when they quietly guide your thoughts, and the most dangerous control begins where awareness ends. First sign is subtle agreement pressure, where someone keeps repeating ideas until your brain accepts them as your own belief. Second sign appears when your choices feel limited because they frame only 2 options while hiding every other possibility. Third sign is emotional triggering, where they provoke guilt or fear, so your reactions become predictable and easier to steer. Fourth sign shows up as constant validation withdrawal, giving approval only when you act the way they want you to act. Fifth sign is information control, where they selectively share facts so your understanding of reality becomes incomplete and biased. Sixth sign is timing manipulation, approaching you when you are tired, stressed, or vulnerable, making your decisions weaker and rushed. Seventh sign is subtle language framing, where words are chosen carefully to influence how you interpret situations without noticing. Eighth sign is isolation influence, slowly pulling you away from people who might question their behavior or offer you clarity. Ninth sign is repetition conditioning, where the same message is repeated so often it starts feeling like undeniable truth. Control rarely looks aggressive. It feels comfortable, familiar, and even helpful, which is why it becomes so dangerous. Most people don't realize they are being influenced because the process is slow, silent, and hidden inside everyday interactions. Your mind naturally trusts patterns, and manipulators exploit that by creating predictable emotional and mental responses inside you. The more unaware you are, the easier it becomes for someone to guide your reactions without ever giving direct commands. This is not about fear, it's about awareness. Because once you see the pattern, the control immediately starts losing power. Start noticing how often your opinions shift after certain conversations, especially when strong emotions are involved. Pay attention to moments when you feel rushed to decide, because urgency is often used to bypass logical thinking. Observe who benefits from your decisions, because control always serves the person who is influencing you. Notice repeated phrases or ideas that seem to echo in your mind long after the conversation has ended. Question situations where you feel guilty for things that normally wouldn't bother your sense of right and wrong. Look at how your confidence changes around certain people, because control often reduces your ability to think independently. The moment you pause and analyze instead of reacting instantly, you break the cycle they rely on to influence you. Awareness creates distance, and distance gives you the power to choose your thoughts instead of inheriting someone else's. You don't need to fight control loudly. You just need to recognize it quietly and stop responding automatically. The most powerful mind is not the one that controls others, but the one that cannot be controlled without permission. Number 5. 5 silent techniques to make anyone respect you instantly. Speak less than necessary because people naturally assign more value and authority to those who don't feel the need to fill silence with unnecessary words. Hold eye contact just 1 second longer than normal. Not in an aggressive way, but in a calm, grounded way that signals confidence and control. Slow down your movements slightly because rushed actions communicate anxiety, while controlled and deliberate movements communicate power without saying a word. React less than expected in emotional situations, because the person who stays composed instantly becomes the one others subconsciously respect. Pause before responding, even for a moment, because quick reactions feel needy, but thoughtful pauses feel like intelligence and self-control. Keep your posture upright and open, because your body speaks before your words, and confident posture silently demands respect in any room. Don't try to impress anyone, because the moment you seek approval, you lower your perceived value in the eyes of others. Let others talk more and listen deeply without interrupting, because people respect those who make them feel heard and understood. Use fewer but stronger words when you do speak, because clarity and precision feel powerful, while over-explaining feels insecure. Stay unpredictable in small ways, because when people can't fully predict you, they naturally pay more attention and respect your presence. Don't chase attention, because the one who doesn't need attention automatically becomes the center of it without trying. Maintain calm facial expressions, even when challenged, because emotional control signals strength that others cannot easily shake. Walk into any space like you belong there, because hesitation makes people question you, but certainty makes them accept you instantly. Set small boundaries without explaining too much, because people respect those who clearly know what they accept and what they don't. Avoid laughing at everything just to fit in, because selective reactions make your approval feel more valuable and rare. Keep your tone steady and relaxed, because a controlled voice carries more authority than a loud or overly excited one. Don't respond to every comment or opinion, because selective silence shows that your attention is valuable and not easily given. Make decisions without constantly asking for validation, because self-trust is one of the strongest signals of confidence. Stay consistent in your behavior because unpredictability in emotions creates doubt, but consistency builds silent authority. Give genuine compliments rarely because scarcity increases their value and makes people respect your judgment more. Never over-apologize because excessive apologies signal weakness, while balanced accountability signals strength and maturity. Control your digital presence as well, because even online behavior affects how seriously people take you in real life. Leave conversations at the right moment instead of dragging them, because ending on your terms creates a lasting impression. Focus on your purpose instead of people's opinions, because those who are mission-driven naturally command respect without asking for it. And once you master these silent behaviors, people won't just hear you, they will feel your presence before you even say a single word.